Thank you for joining us on this election night, Decision 2023. I'm Mark Maxwell alongside Anita Mannion. If it's election night in Illinois and Missouri, Anita's right by here, on my side here,
right.
helping to break down all these results. Polls just closed this last moment in Illinois and Missouri, and we're tracking hundreds of races on both sides of the river here. We're going to try to feature some of them. Of course, it's too early to know results. We can tell you that in the 3rd Ward in St. Louis City, Shane Cohn, the incumbent alderman, will advance. He's the only
going out on a limb there.
Yeah, really taking a stab there. We're going to call that race. It's over, Shane Cohn. But what are some other things that you're looking for tonight? There's questions on ballots in the county and the city and some other big races. What are some things that you're watching?
I'm definitely interested in the overall, how the Board of Aldermen is going to shape up. This is a historic change, cutting the wards in half. And there's some particular races that will help determine if Mayor Jones gets her progressive board that she's looking for. So I'm watching that. I'm also interested in Prop C in the city, which would allow the charter to be amended every 10 years. Interested to see how those marijuana taxes go. And there's some really kind of competitive school board elections I want to watch too.
We are going to get into each of those races as we learn more. You should start to see along the bottom of your screen a ticker with results, and we'll bring you some of those results here. Here's how tonight's going to break down. There's also some other reporting happening, so we thank you for joining us on 5+, but we're going to be back here with you about every half hour at 7, 7:30, 8, 8:30 for a 5-minute interval to bring you the biggest news of what we know at that time. So it won't be a continuous stream of these results as we watch these local elections happen, but we will be checking in with you periodically before our 10 o'clock newscast sums it all up. And we anticipate we could know most of these results, but there's a few races we might not know by the end of tonight.
Yeah, it depends on how close they are.
It really does. Proposition C, this charter commission in the city of St. Louis, it's kind of like the Constitution or the guiding document for the city. It's 109 years old. What do you see there? Some voters I was talking to today said they didn't really see a downside in go ahead and approving this because none of the changes would actually take place until voters ultimately approved or rejected them anyways.
That's right. And I think that's the position a lot of people will take on this, that document's over 100 years old, still has very gendered language, makes references to things like how many natural teeth people have to have to hold office. So I think that most people agree it could be updated. And although this commission may favor the mayor at this time, ultimately it does go back to the voters.
And mayors change.
That's right.
You could have a different mayor 10 years from now. Perhaps that would be an asset to them to have a chance to rewrite the city charter. We're going to be featuring a number of close races. You mentioned the mayor's popularity as something people look at. There's one race in particular, I think, in the north part of the city, Sharon Tyus, who's been a vocal critic of Mayor Jones. And Mayor Jones is backing her challenger, Tashara Earl. So that Tyus-Earl matchup is something we're going to want to watch tonight and see. There's also that big contest between Rasheen Aldridge, a State House Democrat running for alderman, and he's in a really bitter race. Spicy is one adjective. Against Ebony Washington. She's a member of the Hubbard family there. How much does just that sort of family clout help or hurt in local races?
I mean, we do have multiple families in St. Louis that sort of have a historic legacy. But we've seen some of them be toppled, including Lacey Clay not too long ago. So I think that one thing that is disadvantage to Washington, she doesn't have that maybe that Hubbard name, but she does have that strategy and that experience behind her. Sort
of brass knuckles campaigning there.
Right.
They did really good in the primary in getting a lot of absentee ballots in. There was some questions about that years back. We're also looking at the county. A lot of you have been voting on or considering this question about whether or not to add or authorize a local sales tax on marijuana. It's Prop M, M for marijuana. Prop C, C for charter. Pretty easy. I like how they do that.
Right.
But in St. Louis County, it's a bit different. The county and the county executive have been saying for a while the budget's in rough shape, so they're going to try and add a tax at the county level, even as about 30, 35 municipalities are trying to authorize a tax at the city level. That would be a double tax, at least for now.
That's right. I live in the county, so I voted for Brentwood's tax and the county's tax today on marijuana. And I think there is going to be, if this passes, there's going to be some legal challenges. Can the county collect that tax on incorporated areas or just unincorporated areas? So I think that this was going to play out over maybe a longer term.
Yeah, it's kind of a legal question. The county executive said, what the heck, we'll just go ahead and tax it now and you can sue us later.